Hello, all, and we welcome all to the brand new session of Unwavering Focus. And we are reflecting from the chapter 1 that has some light, that is throwing some light on how to discover the purpose of our life and how our mind and focus, unwavering focus, is very much important to achieve one's purpose of life that we understood yesterday in the last session. Today, we are continuing ahead and understanding further how these elements, which are really the negative thing of the mind that is automatically coming out, just by living in the present, can be possible to eradicate from our life. I will share with you a step-by-step process of understanding how the mind works so that you can learn to control and direct it. You will also learn how to focus in addition. In addition, I will share with you a range of simple, practical, but highly effective tools to help you become good at controlling the mind. So, author is giving us a step-by-step process of understanding how mind works. That will be really great once we understand how mind works, because considering any menu, any gadget that we use, we always go through the process how to run that gadget, be it any kind of new gadget. Might not be the mobile because it is already familiar to us. Otherwise, step-by-step process is written in every manual. And if we do not operate that machine without reading with the instruction given in the manual, then we are actually not utilizing the proper functionality into 100% efficiency. The same case is true for mind also. So we will understand how the mind works. You will also learn how to focus in addition. I will share with you a range of simple, practical, but highly effective tools to help you become good at controlling the mind and focusing. You will also learn ways to implement these tools easily and consistently in your daily life to sustain your progress towards the goal you want to achieve. Now, this is also very important. Pay attention to it. We need to have the goal, have the purpose already. If we do not have the goal, then we are actually leading our life in a very timid way, means like not very progressive manner. So don't expect to master any of these tools by end of the book. Rather, expect to get a good and solid understanding of how these tools work and practical techniques of applying them in every aspect of your life. It's your consistency in applying these tools in the coming weeks and months that will determine how much you actually benefit from them. Eventually, if you are consistent enough in your application, you will find that your mental patterns, your habit patterns start to change. That is what actually we are aiming, right? Our mental pattern and the habit pattern need to change. At least the habit pattern which is not helping us to lead a healthy lifestyle. The author is saying, and you will create a different lifestyle for yourself. That is definitely helpful to each of us. The ability to focus is one of humanity's greatest asset. It is the core of all human success and endeavor, because the ability to concentrate is what helps a person manifest their goal in life. If we are not able to focus on the thing which matters and we are always diverting, then definitely we cannot manifest the goal of our life. Most people want to experience some version of happiness, contentment, enlightenment, or other such uplifting feelings, but they do not know how to attain such states because they are never taught the key to creating the life they want is concentration. So the key is nothing but it is a concentration. The key to create the life we want. Additionally, Most people are never taught how to harness and direct the power of concentration as a tool or manifestation. Now, the question will be asked, do I need to live focused life? My answer is no. You absolutely do not need to live a focused life. Living a focused life is a choice. And we all have a choice of whether we want to or not to. It is your life, and you should decide how you want to live it. That said, living a focused life supports you in having a more rewarding life. The choice is always with us. So, if we lead a focused life, then it will be more rewarding. There is a reason you are reading this book, and I hope it is because something inside you is telling that leading a focused life or purposeful focused life will improve the quality of your life and bring greater meaning to it. What is the difference between a focused life and a purposeful focused life? A focused life is one in which you are able to give whoever and whatever you are engaged with your undivided attention. That is definitely not that great compared to the purpose focused life. Because whatever comes, if you are able to focus, then you might be actually focusing on wrong thing also sometimes. You are fully present in all your experience and thus creating a truly rewarding life, though your experiences are not driven by a greater overreaching purpose. A purpose focused life, on the other hand, is one in which your life's purpose defines your priorities and your priorities drive what you focus on. So this is so important to remember in our day-to-day doing, that am I focusing on anything undividedly or am I having the right priorities already defined, which is aligned with my purpose and taking me towards that particular goal. Your life is lived very intentionally. This is also one of the themes that I always um, propose or kind of discuss in our Saturday sessions, that we need to live a life of intentionally. It is not should not be driven by some external forces or by the old habits that we have, or some gadgets that is or some apps that is kind of making us pull towards them. It should be intentional. What I have in my goal, I am pursuing towards that intentionally. You make wise choice each day based on your life's purpose, who you spend time with, what you spend your time on, and what music you listen to, or what books you read, what shows you watch, what foods you eat, and more. You give who and what you are engaged with your undivided attention, but the who and what are intentionally chosen. Right now, here we can ask one question to ourselves. Are we leading an intentional life, or are we getting driven by some external forces or internal triggers? External or internal triggers might be actually controlling many of our desires or actions. This is the reflective question for today. Are we leading a intentional life? Are we taking the decision based on our goals, based on our priorities, or getting distracted by other external and internal triggers? We will discuss what is external trigger and what is internal trigger. It's not part of this book in the Saturday session. Ultimately, the goal of this book is to help you live a focused life or a focused life and reap its boundless benefits. Now, let's start. Lesson number 1.2, that is taking charge. We have the choice of what we focus on in life. The choice is not always easy. Sometimes, if not often, it is extremely difficult, but we do have the choice. When I was a monk living in my guru's monastery, I met a man from the island country of Mauritius who always smiled. He was, for lack of a better word, in, interning at the monastery for a few months, and during this time I got to know him. One day I asked him, "Why are you always smiling?" He looked at me and said, "My father died, and when I was very young, my widow mother had to raise me and my siblings all by herself, and we were quite poor. Every morning, my mother would wake us up, get us in to get us stand in line, and then make us laugh for 5 minutes. That was how we started our day. I cannot even begin to tell you how that story has impacted my life. This lady, faced with the loss of her husband and forced now to provide for her children and herself, made the choice of how she would start her day. She chose what she wanted her kids to focus on. She chose what to impress on their marvelous on their malleable subconscious first thing in the morning. Little did she know that her actions would ripple halfway across the world to Hawaii in the living example of her son and then be told in a book one day. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison only to be released, topple South Africa's racist system of apartheid and become president. This is the greatest lesson for a person who choose what he would focus on in his mind while in prison. He could have focused on the sorrow part or how uh, misery uh, filled life he has, or he has the choice to focus on the positive aspect of it, what he can do once he is back out of the prison. These are two examples of people who took charge of their mind and made the conscious choice of what to focus on in life. We cannot level, we cannot leave it up to our environment to determine what we focus on. The outcome would be disastrous. This line we need to focus again. We cannot leave it up to our environment to determine what we focus on. The outcome would be disastrous if we do that. We must take charge of what it is we wish to focus on in life. We also cannot leave it to our mind because the mind has no ability to discriminate between what is good for you and what is not good for you. The mind has no ability to decide or discriminate between good and bad, what is good for me, what is not so good for me. If my mind knew what is good for me, I would be perfect. Every time I picked up a bowl of French fries, my mind would say, have 3 fries and then have this bowl of salad. It is healthier, but my mind does not say the same way. My mind says, yes, go for it. Have that bowl of rice and put on extra ketchup because it is really, really good. And then have some of these onion rings too. The mind has no idea what is good for you and what is not good for you until you have trained it to discriminate between two. This is the key point. Until we train it how to discriminate between these two, it has no idea to, to differentiate what is good and what is not good for us. Once you have trained and programmed the mind to be able to determine wisely what is physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually uplifting to you, then it can help you make better choices in life. There was a time when people were sold the concept that smoking was good for you. They believed it. They believed it, told their minds that smoking was good for them, and smoked themselves to death. Now, if the mind knew that smoking was bad for them, it would have said, "You idiot, smoking kills. Stop doing it. You are gonna kill us both." But it didn't say anything. It didn't say that because unless you give the mind the right information, it has no ability to guide you in the right direction. That said, there is a part of the mind that does know what is good for you. It is called superconscious mind. So there is a part of the mind that knows what is good and what is not so good for the self. And that part is called superconscious mind. And tomorrow we'll continue from here. We will discuss about the three states of mind. What are the three states of mind? We'll be discussing from tomorrow. So today, the reflective questions, I hope all of you remember. Let me reiterate again. We need to ask, we have discussed in length and breadth that what it means to lead an intentional life. And the question that we need to be asking to ourselves is whether I am leading the intentional life or I am getting pulled by external and internal triggers. So this reflective prompt is so powerful enough that we will be able to see and take the right action effortlessly.